This is your daily market review for Monday, December 2nd, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review, Monday, December 2nd, 2024. Phew, this year has flown by fast. Holy crap. So, yeah, on that note, hopefully you had a great holiday weekend, long week last week just to hang out. Didn't get too crazy with things, but if you had good times, good friends, good food, good for you. Absolutely. That was what sometimes we all need to recharge and bring this year to a close, being mentally aware, recharged, and ready to rock and roll. So if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link in the description below. I appreciate it. Today's market, not surprised by a Monday. I will say there's some interesting reactions in some stocks. Again, we've talked about traders markets, certain stocks acting in certain ways, certain stocks acting in other ways. Overall, interesting action in my opinion. We'll go through some of the names that had some decent, interesting moves today, like Intel, say Apple, Meta, your favorites, Tesla, Taiwan Semi. Yes, we will go through them all, as we always do. So please, if you'd like to join the Discord room, link description below. If you'd like to get involved, use the Calendly link. Let me know I can help. Let's chat. Also posting tons of trades on the Twitter if you're not involved in the Discord room. Yeah, also real estate stuff. And again, I appreciate all the support, generous donations. Check out the website, tradingagent.com. Should be updated. It seems to be that times that it's showing certain things that it shouldn't be, but that's just the nature of the beast. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, check out the website, tradingagent.com. Turn profits into properties and passive income. Let me know I could help. All right. CME Watch Tool. December 18th meeting. Survey says still a cut, and it's growing. Things are getting worse. If you saw the housing data last week, ay caramba. Ay chihuahua. Not good. I mean, misses, big misses. So we know, again, potentially the feds are going to cut. How is that going to affect inflation? Well, inflation has been rocking and rolling, and it's holding up. So they're in a weird place. Just, again, we'll see what happens here. Now with King Dollar talk, Trump going to put tariffs on anyone who doesn't use the dollar. Oh boy, it's going to get interessante. That's for sure. Bitcoin, talked about the 2 times range, chopping around. We didn't necessarily say it had to absolutely collapse, but again, this is why you take profits. The more you're up, the less you own, especially when you come into fibs and major areas of actual potential future resistance. Because again, 2 times range, think about it. That's the one range, you add it to the top, there you are. Now, don't be surprised when it takes a break and people get all frustrated and butthurt and get mad at me. I'm like, no, sorry, it's just, that's how it works. It's very technical. Oil, as we talked about, all over the place. Not much to say. Natty gas, not surprised pulling back after it hit up into the 3s. Yeah, just keep an eye on it. So your guess is good as mine sometimes near term on some of this stuff. It's not really worth getting too nutty about. We talked about the dollar again on this weekend with Trump's talks about tariffs. We'll see how we hold up here. I mean, you could be head and shoulder-ish. Watch the 30-10 plus. Just keep an eye on it. TLT, man, all over the day. Down, up, closed near the highs. Made a new high and a new low. Call that a fun candle. But then you close up near the high. All right, well, at this point, you probably should anticipate more up. Just got to get through this 93 area, 94, 95. Just, I mean, you can see it's that blue box. As we talked about, the VIX has come back down to levels that don't make sense. We talked about the VIVIX bouncing first. It looks like it's making higher lows. Keep an eye on that because usually that's when you get the pullback. Again, I've got some end of the week SPY cheapies. We'll see what happens here. Maybe you don't get the pullback. Little doji action after today's or Friday's up breakout. QQQ played catch up today, back up towards the highs. So this is where it gets interesting. The Qs, right? Back at the reference, worth an absolute watch. New money, new month. Okay, how long does that last? We'll see. IWM, here you go, right? This is just endless chop. I would expect this thing to rip. It's not, but worth watching. Again, it's evidence-based because you can be short some things and long some things, in my opinion. Again, now you'll get better short returns when the market pulls back, but there are certain things that aren't doing that great. Dia chopping up, been on fire, up against an old channel. Worth a watch. Gold. This one's tough. We've talked about it. Needs to break this downtrend. I personally, again, mid-December usually gets some pullback for gold. Seasonality of it's tough. Again, I think it's going to be in the chop zone. Silver's not confirming new highs at all, potential, right? Like this thing is just dead on the mat. Miners, they got the bounce. Now they gave it back at the 20-day. Now you've seen the 20-day act multiple times as resistance. Just keep an eye on that, right? Same kind of thing with GDXJ. I mean, again, you would think the miners would be looking better. AEM looks like it's about to go. All right, we'll see. I mean, it's got to break that downtrend. AG chopping around. This one does not look good. Making new lows. Newmont, again, a name that should be flying to the highs. Retesting the highs. Watch this 40 area. If it breaks 40, I mean, next downside's got to be somewhere in this. Man, I mean, you could go zoom out. You can get really freaking funky. I don't know. Probably down in the 36 area, 35. I don't know. Keep an eye on it. Pass. Chopping around. Real sneaky. I mean, you could argue it's like a channeling. The channeling of the vibes. I mean, I'm looking at this, and again, I don't bring rulers to drawing, right? Like people get all mad, and it's like, keep an eye on it. Because this is the channel lows, essentially. Now, again, this is why you don't bring a ruler. Those that bring rulers to trading struggle. All right, keep an eye on it. Taiwan Semi, nice rip today. Talked about it being oversold. We said this could be a channel low 100-day bounce time. There's your bounce. Micron, not really much of anything. Chopping at the lows in AMD. Nice little bit of a bounce. Again, but it's chopping in a zone. NVIDIA, we talked about it, oversold bounce. Hits the 20-day. We said watch the 20-day. Watch the 8-day, 8 and the 10-day. I mean, it's just worth watching. I mean, could we get up a little higher maybe tomorrow? I don't know. Again, I think this is the easiest short out there. Again, hopefully you got in near the highs versus chasing. And that's why we talk about don't chase. SMCI, again, supposedly everything's good. They got a clearing from their freaking, from auditors. Man, like this thing is a wild roller coaster. Good luck. However, we said we need to get over the 50-day. You definitely did. So I don't know why you wouldn't get back to 48 potentially. Intellectual property. CEO stepping down. Oh, it's going to get sold. Who's ready to buy? Nobody. That is not the reaction you want to see when your CEO leaves and it becomes very clear that you might be for sale. All right, you better hold the channel lows. Could be a trap for both sides. Just worth watching that 23 area. SMH, as we talked about, channel low, 200-day, bounce. Here you go. Fills the gap. Worth a watch. Keep an eye on it. Adobe, going nowhere fast, just chopping around. Apple, we talked about breaking out. Here we go. Nice close if you're bullish. Let's see if you get the follow through. So you can play that one up, right? Talk about some other names down. Here you go. Amazon, interesting day today. Fills the gap. I'd be watching that 212 area. Meta, we talked about this thing, had some pop in it once it played a game down here. Congratulations. If you're long this, again, here's a great trade. If you weren't played, I mean, you might get 50 points here. Pretty damn quick. So congrats if you traded that. Hell yeah. Thank you again, guys and gals in the Discord room. Just I think Jay Solstice was the one who made me aware of this one. Made sense. Not surprised it chopped at resistance. Then it got over it. Boom. Again, especially on a day where it's like light volume after holiday. Not surprising. CRM looks like a double topper. Guggenheimer. Right. Chopping around. Seems to be holding that 200-day. Credit where credit's due. I mean, it could fill this gap at 177. Microsoft has been chopping around as some people are looking at maybe it's ready to go. All right, you need to get over the downtrend. NDAQ. Some people took the shorts today. Congratulations. Here you go. Talked about this just being a straight line. I mean, I don't know where it ends. I mean, you could draw some fibs. Here, let's see if this, again, I'm doing this on the fly. I'm just curious if these were any fib extensions. Significance. Holy shit. Yep. Okay, watching that. MicroStrategy, again, congrats to Joe and some of the homies who took that one. MicroStrategy, we talked about when Bitcoin peaked near term again, whether you believe this is the top for the end of the world or the top for near term. We talked about it. Here you go. Still watching the 20-day. Netflix and chill. Man, look at this thing. Back towards the highs. New money, new month. Again, window dressing. window chasing, I guess. Yep, holding the 48 for this guy. Pan W, again, we talked about it holding over the breakout in the 20-day. I mean, so far it looks good. Tesla, we talked about the first dip probably gets bought. All right, you got it. And this is interesting action here because this gap, I'm going to put a little left arrow. This gap could be the start of something. Keep an eye on it. Congrats again. I mean, I don't have a position on this one. I mean, I personally think that it has more upside potentially on near-term catalysts, but it also could be targeted of something later. We'll see. Insight talked about the 70 level backing down after a nice move up. Again, I think this gets bought out. It's breaking the, I mean, it's a big trend. Broke it. Palantir, this is one we talk about like just overbought, but you don't know where it ends. Right? Now you're starting to show potentially a ceiling. So I'd be watching 67s. Very simple. Mickey D's, da-da-da-da-da, chopping it. This big chop zone. DKNG, we talked about this is like a gift up here to short with tight stops. Simple. Airbnb, I mean, it's just simple. 44, 45 here. I'll zoom out again just so people know why. I mean, you've got clear resistance here. The VAP zone, just keep it on it. Because if it gets over it, you stop out. If it doesn't, then you got a big win potential. Airbnb, this one's been chopping all over. Not much to say about this one. Costco, been on fire, holding up. Again, getting a little tight here. Just worth watching. Starbucks, is this a bull trap? This is where I'm like, little, you know, like, all right, are you going to go or you're not? Because you've consolidated for a while. Maybe it's just playing games, and today's wick was another trap. Could it go higher? Maybe. FedEx, we talked about shorting this one up in the low 300s. Back test the trend line. Man, nailed that one. If you took it, congrats. I mean, it makes sense to me. Caterpillar, this is another one that in my mind that just, again, I mean, long-term bullish, near-term fills the gap. Makes sense. Deere, this one's been on fire. Time for a little chop pullback maybe. Keep an eye on it. Nucor, here's another one. Again, we like long time. Let these play out. Let them chop around. X, again, probably going to get bought out at the end of the year. We'll see. VALE, again, global growth name. Could this go to $2 or $3? I don't know. But, man, there's some real value in some of these commodity names at the lows. But, again, being patient. Arrow, again, we like junior copper. Let it play out. CCJ, been a monster. Back at the highs, you clearly have a reference now. We've talked about like 60, 61. Got to get over it. If it doesn't, be a little careful. Ag names got a pop today. Again, new money, new month. Interesting. CF makes a new high off the low. Mosaic, again, decent little candle. I said I've been on record. I like the ags if you can get them at the lows. If you've gotten them at the lows, again, I don't know if there's a ton of downside long term, but you will have to trade them potentially if the market gets swirly. AA Aeron, again, we love aluminum. Makes sense to me. Not going to overthink that one. But I'd like to see it on pullbacks. Again, XLF said in the Discord room, watch today's action. Getting a little sloppy. Tight up at the highs after a big move. Okay, 8 and 10 day. To me, if you added FAS today at like 530s, you're probably looking pretty good. JP Morgan, we talked about this little trapper keeper up top. Look at that wick. Wick. There you go. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Morgan Stanley, Morgan. It looks like it's peaked, right? That gap down. Watch the 20-day. Bank of America, right? They run this up post Buffett sell. Okay, 8 and 10 day. Got to hold it. Goldman Snacks. Keep it simple. XDiv chopping today. Carry. Again, we've talked about how junior banks are looking a little sneaky topish. Like there's the same day to JP Morgan and some of these other banks. Is that a bull trap? If that's a bull trap, you got downside, mi amigos. XBI is another one that's like just chopping around. Not much to say. Jets. Again, I like the short here. It makes sense, but clearly you got to break the 20-day. Again, the Jets losing a lead maybe. Housing index. Look at this, dude. It's in the duder button. Now you have a reference. Interesting. Not getting really fall to, but you're also just chopping around. So don't get too excited until you get some a little bit more confirmation. Solar, as we talked about, oversold. You're welcome. Said it was due to bounce. We talked about it getting crapped on into the election. Got crapped on and even made new lows. Same thing with Sedge. I mean, all these turds are, I mean, again, you flush the toilet, some turds float. We've talked about this, not surprisingly. Again, here you go, coming back to some old references. Last but not least in the turd section. For solar, nice bounce. This thing's pretty wild, the wicks. So I mean, it closes the gap. It looks like it's going to go over another $4 or $5 and close up the lows. HYG again, corporate debt. You got to be high. to buy corporate debt, in my opinion. Not much to say there. Oil, chopping around. Again, doesn't look that strong. And be careful here. UNG, again, I like this stuff long term, but I don't want to play in this pit. Again, KLD, if we talked about, if you shorted in the 80s, you should have been taking profits down here. You're welcome. Let's see if it comes on back. XOP, interesting action today because, again, it looked like the 20-day, 200-day, and this blue zone was retesting. I like to see a stronger close, so I'm watching that one. ExxonMobil, again, all over the place, but kind of nothing much here. Dojis, Valero, gasoline names, chopping, MPC, chopping. CVE, again, if the oil and gas are going to start waking up, this makes sense down here. But if it's not, it makes sense that it goes nowhere. That's where you got to be careful. Occidental, same kind of thing. Like if oil and gas really got the upside, this is a really great chop bottom, or you're about to break the lows. And who knows, maybe you can fill some of these gaps down here. The 40s. Again, worth an eye on it. EQT last, second to last but not least. Talked about having to take profits once you get up into the zone near term. It's a solid move. 30 up to 48. Do the math, right? 18 on top of 30. That's a really strong move. Now it's consolidating. Watch the 20-day. Watch this blue zone here at the 44s and bounces. Cool. Not, get out of the way. Flex LNG, last but not least. Again, I think we'll be natural gas exporters. All right. If you're new to the channel, have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you've been around forever, hit the like button. Subscribe if you may. Share with a friend. I appreciate it. Leave a comment below. I love your feedback always. You guys mean the world to me. Let me know how I can help improve this channel. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening. See you soon. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.